My presentation is on the interest group Lockheed Martin. There are two goals here, an original and a continuing goal. The original goal is to provide a fifth generation aircraft. According to Lockheed Martin, the F-35 strengthens national security, enhances global partnerships, and powers economic growth. As the most lethal, survivable, and connected fighter jet in the world, the F-35 gives pilots the critical advantage against any adversary, enabling them to execute their mission and come home safe. I pulled it off their website. That's an actual quote they have on the opening page. The continuing goal is preserving the policy. It's the largest, most expensive acquisition in not only the DoD, but American policy. The capabilities of these units will eventually provide critical nation security, deter political adversaries around the globe, if necessary, to respond with overwhelming force in future conflicts requiring military intervention. The points of access are national and local governments, particularly the Senate, House, and Trump himself offers meet with Lockheed Martin. Strategies, there's indirect and direct techniques. The indirect are like public pressure, using constituents as lobbyists, protesting public protest donations, and well-paid lobbyists. Direct techniques are raiding government officials, building alliances, and offering campaign assistance. We see a third party and also a direct influence with Lockheed Martin. It's been quite some time with this policy. The biggest strategy they use is political engineering. It's like leverage. I'm going to explain why in a moment. It's beyond the point of return. Jobs are on the line, countries are involved, the DoD needs this. So the status of the issue is from the government perspective. A synopsis of an article I read, the F-35 program record of performance has been both a scandal with tragedies that cost, performance, and schedule. It's an example of why it's such a high priority in reforming the broken defense acquisition system. The schedule for development has now stretched to more than 15 years. Costs have doubled from the original estimates. Aircraft deliveries have amount to no more than a trickle from the original promised program. They promised 1,013. They've only delivered at the end of the fiscal year 2016, 179. The military was banking on these, and then since there's none, they have shortfalls now in technology, putting us at critical risk for defense. Now the background on this F-35 Joint Strike Fighter Force. It's planned to be America's next new American advanced fighter. $100 million per unit. It's stealth. It can fly at 1.6 Mach speed. Some can even take off and land vertically too. It's designed to replace the aging fleets of the Air Force, Navy, and Marines. It's a jet of the future. But in 2016, Trump put the entire project in doubt with a single tweet, saying it's too expensive. And Trump's not wrong. The 16-year, $1 trillion project is 7 years late and 70% over budget. But the F-35 is more than a government purchase, and canceling is nearly impossible. It's too deeply woven into the U.S. government, military, and economy. Trump has met the military-industrial complex. The U.S. defense companies make a lot of money. Their best clients are the largest military in human history, and they sell their products to other countries too, making the U.S. the largest arms exporter in the world. As a result, they are some of the biggest companies in the world. It requires a unique relationship with Lockheed Martin and the government. Not only do defense contracts bid for the Pentagon, but their domestic and foreign sales also have to be improved by Congress too. As a result, companies try to get support, and Congress says they can't or they can. It's pretty much a smart adapting strategy. One thing every member of Congress can do is support jobs in their home state. So the political engineering here is major U.S. defense companies spread their operations across as many states as possible. By doing so, they can maximize the number of legislators inclined to support the projects, regardless of political party. I did a quick search on a small portion of Boeing and Raytheon locations across the U.S., along with legislators who voice support for the companies in Congress. And if you include the subcontractors like the 3,000 hired by Boeing in California, you can imagine how many jobs are at stake across the country. This strategy has defense companies. I mean, they got pretty good at basically doing this. It's what they do. In August 2015, Lockheed Martin purchased Sikorsky aircraft, known for making Marine Helicopter One. The company brought Lucas Defense helicopters to the market. See, Sikorsky aircraft is based in Connecticut in the Northeast, and one area where Lockheed had little political influence. United Technologies and Raytheon were the area's major defensive employers and therefore wielded the most important Congress. Sikorsky had 8,000 employees, but Lockheed instantly became the third largest contractor after usurping them, and gaining political influence in Connecticut, for example, now. The Northeast has home to the most defense industries and the most supporters of local Congress, such as Rosa DeLauro, a Connecticut local, we'll call, but she has strong influence in the region. There's no doubt political engineering is a smart strategy. Defense companies get more business and more jobs. But with so much political support and widespread economic impact, some of these defense companies have been deemed too big to fail, even when they appear to be failing, such as this policy. Now, the F-35 project Trump that they canceled, despite the design flaws and constant problems, there have been no serious efforts to cancel or scale back the project. It's just a bluff. They say it, but it's just trying to, I don't know, nothing's going on there. In fact, more than 3 years of cuts to defense spending for F-35 have been untouched. It's because the project was politically engineered for near perfection. The Pentagon started bidding on F-35s in the mid-90s. It'd be the largest defense contract in history. Boeing and Lockheed Martin quickly emerged as the two contenders. Both had loyal supporters in Congress and eager to create jobs in the state. Unfortunately, Boeing lost and Lockheed took this contract. Boeing went to follow with they went through smaller planes basically, ensuring Boeing would not lose jobs but still have some factories in the states. Today, Lockheed Martin supports 146,000 jobs across 46 states. In fact, these stats are from an interactive map and it's straight from the Lockheed Martin website. Parts of the plane are produced all over parts of the country, maximizing the number of stakeholders, ensuring broad bipartisan support in Congress. Lockheed Martin has also hired subcontractors from 8 other countries to build components for the plane. And several allied contracts and countries have placed orders for their own militaries. Anything done to hurt this F-35 program and project will hurt those relationships. Concurrency also complicating things. It's when a project goes into to production before the tests are complete. It speeds up job creation. It gets the thing done quicker. But there's basically a flawed practice here. They delayed the project by 7 years doing this too. Testing revealed problems. The planes that need to be sent back had to be retrofitted. The radar is an issue. Inadequate fusion of sensor information, shortfalls in performance, distributed aperture system, autonomic logistics. Basically, all of it's not good. And each military branch has their own specific needs, making it complicated even further. There's 3 of them. The F-35 has been delayed so long that it's now unclear whether the military even needs it anymore. Because we are fighting basically in Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan. They don't have air forces. And Russia and China, for example, are nowhere near close to our technology and we're far more advanced than them. Despite all of this, the F-35 keeps moving forward with enthusiastic support of the U.S. government. In 2010, the Department of Defense allowed Lockheed more time to fix design flaws. And in 2015, Congress actually added money to the project without the military even asking for it. That's because canceling the project would be an economical and political disaster. Thousands of jobs across the country would be lost, international relationships would be tested, and billions of dollars spent in taxpayer money would amount to nothing. But that's exactly what Trump's tweet was so surprising. He said, based on the tremendous costs and overruns of Lockheed Martin, I've asked Boeing to price out comparable F-18 Super Hornet. Following day, Boeing stocks went up 0.5%, Lockheed went down 2%. See, traditionally, defense companies negotiate contracts privately with Congress and Pentagon without input from the president. But Trump seems to want to take more of a hands-on role negotiating these contracts, which have ratified and rattled defense companies. Trump can't cancel the entire program but he also can stop to he can't cancel the program, but he can refuse to purchase future ones. And that's a surprising degree of uncertainty in the defense industry. The companies are scrambling to figure it out. Lockheed Martin, they're going to be there for quite some time.